Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for me. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We're here for another episode of Transfer Talk. It's 10 p.m. What else do you want to do at 10 p.m. apart from talk transfers? I can't really think of much more. But before we get started, if you haven't checked out the Argyle show, if you're an Argyle fan, you've stumbled across this stream. Maybe you support both. I'm not going to question it, but maybe you do. If you are an Argyle fan, do check out the Argyle show that me and Liam did earlier on today. It was a great show. We went through all our pre-season, we went through the kits, the players, the new signings, predictions for the season. So if you haven't done that out, if you haven't checked out, check it out now, and please hit that like button on this one. If you are new to the channel, of course, also subscribe. It does massively help. Some comments here. Ravi saying, big up now, Liverpool ain't selling Hendo to Arsenal. If he goes there, it will be a downgrade for him. Hendo is too good for Arsenal. I'll get into that in a second. And Velvishwan says, simply fight me, Arsenal. Which I don't know who would win that battle, and I frankly probably don't want to get involved. But let's talk about what we're going to talk about, because we've got an awful lot to get into. So let's get this up and that's up now. So we're talking Diogo Dalot. AC Milan are set to make a loan offer for Diogo Dalot. As we all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not rate Diogo Dalot. Just does not. I don't know why. I mean, he's more interested in wasting time on getting Kieran Trippier in, and doesn't rate Dalot for some weird reason. I don't get it. I think as a backup, Dalot is good, but we'll get into that. We're also talking, as you'd have seen, Arsenal have apparently emerged favourites to sign Jordan Henderson. Now, this in itself is completely bonkers. It is bonkers. I mean, this whole situation, as I said earlier, or I said yesterday, this situation is not going to be no quick fix. If he does go, there's going to be Liverpool fans absolutely fuming, and rightly so. He is the captain. I mean, if Jurgen Klopp likes him, to which he does, he features for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp's sides often. Selling him is stupid at best. That's keeping the language fairly PG. I'm not a Liverpool fan. Even I'm thinking, for me, I'd be annoyed. I'd be really annoyed, but we'll get into this. We're also talking... and even more reasons for Liverpool fans to be raging. We're talking Jarrod Bowen. Liverpool apparently are favourites or looking to sign Jarrod Bowen. I mean, for a club that is the most successful club in England, or in England, if we take into account Europe, this is barbaric. Like, linked with Mbappe, and now you're linked to Bowen. The levels to this is extraordinary. Onto a club that seems to, so far, providing everything does go their way, seems to be going fairly well, and that is Manchester United. They are apparently favourites to sign Ruben Neves. That is according to some reports. Let me know if you think this would be a good signing for United. Anyway, if there's United fans watching, let me know what your thought process is about this. He's not really a DM, is he? But he could easily do the job and Bruno apparently really wants Ruben Neves. I mean, last time I checked, Bruno was just a football player, but you never know with Ollie. Bruno may actually now be transfer guru. Fuck knows what's going on with that club. But so far, it seems to be working quite well for them. And of course, we haven't spoken about Haaland for quite some time, so we'll talk a bit about Erling Haaland. Chelsea are set to make a huge offer for Erling Haaland. Chelsea really have done no business apart from hunting down Erling Haaland. Let's hope that for their sake, it doesn't lead them to be brutally disappointed come the end of the window. But those are the five things that we're going to be discussing tonight. I didn't actually check my audio, so I ought to check that now, just in case. Yeah, that's working. Some comments here. Talk sport, more like talk shit. Can you find me? Okay, there's at least the group chat I added you is what? Ravid. I don't even know. Kenny, you do chat some shit sometimes. I don't even know what you're on about. 2-on-1 free-fall fight. Apparently, Kenny talks sport, love making stuff up. Well, look, you can have your own opinion on talk sport. I wouldn't. I always say where it's come from. So I believe it or not, I'm not a journalist. I know it's utterly shocking to conceive that Niall from Plymouth is not a journalist. I know, fucking unbelievable. So I'll always report where I've got the information from, so you guys absolutely wouldn't know where it's coming from, and you can make your own decision. If you believe TalkSport, you believe TalkSport. If you believe Dean Jones, who put soccer at the end of his name, no, I'm not going to question, straight away it does have alarm bells, and that's not me being snobby, but the least I expect is you to call it fucking football. Just basic common decency, really. So look, Dean Jones soccer, if you believe him, you believe him. If you don't, you don't. He's been speaking again today. If you believe the Daily Star, you'll believe the Daily Star. Like, it's completely down to you to digest it and really make of it what you wish. Big up to Chris in the chat. Hendo to Arsenal, defo bonkers. It is definitely bonkers, but let's get straight into it, because where it came from is definitely one to laugh about. But let's talk AC Milan and let's talk Diogo Dalot. Now, the thing for me is Ollie really doesn't like Diogo Dalot, and I do feel bad for Diego because I don't think he's a bad player. I think going forward, he offers quite a bit. I mean, defensively, yeah, of course, he's not Wan-Bissaka levels, because you actually don't find many Wan-Bissaka level defenders defensively anyway. Going forward, I'd probably say Dalot is better. So, Dalot does have his advantages. Obviously, is he Kieran Trippier? Well, no, of course not. Is he good enough to be a backup at Old Trafford? Yes, I actually would say he is. He managed to play for AC Milan last year, who had a very good season. So, I think, let's be fair, yes, Dalot could absolutely do a job at United, but Ollie clearly doesn't rate him. So, what has been said? Well, AC Milan are preparing a new bid for Man U for Diogo Dalot, a loan with a buy option to be offered again, but along with improving the loan fee. United want a loan fee of around 4 to 5 million euros and a buy option included. Real Madrid are not an option as of now. And that has obviously come from Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio is definitely a tier one who you probably don't tend to mess with. He seems to have a very good understanding, seems to know his shit, of course, as you would expect with Fabrizio. So let's delve into this a bit more. Manchester United, and that fly is going to die. I'm going to say that now. It's been doing my head in. But back to football. Diogo Dalot. I really do think that he could do a job at Old Trafford. I definitely think he could do a job at Milan. Look, he's not the greatest right back in the world, of course not, but he's a competent right back. Why Ollie and United would waste time trying to get a deal with Trippier done, right? Why waste that time? And of course, more importantly, why waste that money? So why waste that money? Why waste that time getting in Kieran Trippier when you've got Diogo Dalot, when you've got Dalot, and when you've got all of this? Why waste the time? Why not just go in for the DM? Why not go in all out for Declan Rice or someone of that ilk? That DM that clearly everyone in the world, including the farmers in fucking Timbuktu, know that United have a problem with. That midfield is your biggest problem. Yet right now, that is the one thing that is bottom of your list of improvements. Make that fucking make sense. Because I've tried and it doesn't make sense. Look, you've got Jadon Sancho. Congratulations. It only took you 2 years. You probably getting Varane absolutely needed. Lindelof not good enough for United. And yes, you do need to get that. So why waste time on a right back? So clearly, Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer view getting a backup fucking right back more important than that midfield. Now, I'm not an expert in football. I mean, I've watched it for long enough to actually understand the game in a very good way. I'm knowledgeable about football. So I don't get it. I really don't fucking get it. Why waste time, effort, money into getting Trippier when you could spend that time, effort, money getting a DM, right? It's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense, right? Even if you want to get a right back, put that to the bottom of your list, right? You have to go in priorities. Football transfers are very difficult and very complex to do. Right? We all know that. We're not idiots. So, yes, you wanted Sancho, you get Sancho. Done. Great. Well done. You wanted Varane? Absolutely. I have no issues if you class that as a priority, because that is absolutely a priority. But to have a backup right back above a central midfielder is beyond a joke. And this is why I don't really think Manchester United have completely changed right now. And certainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer definitely has got something wrong in his head. He has got something up in there that tells him he's a fucking idiot. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe he smokes too much cannabis. Because to be brutally honest with you, how he doesn't see that midfield as a problem, beyond me. Maybe they're going to try and get two things, one stone, fuck knows. But they do need to prioritise that midfield, in my opinion. Mustafa says we're getting Trippier. Yes, I know. That's why I'm going on a mini rant. I think Dalot would be good enough backup, but I see him leaving United for AC Milan or elsewhere. I completely agree. I agree. Why waste time on Trippier? He doesn't fit in the United team. Well, he does. He's just not liked by Ole. Could Dalot do a backup job at Old Trafford? Well, yes, of course he could. Managed to play full-time for AC Milan as first-team member. You're telling me that a man who plays first-team football for AC Milan can't be a backup to Wan-Bissaka? Yeah, mate, that makes sense. Now you checked out his goal. For 30 and other streams. I did. I actually watched Milan versus Celtic last night. Quite an interesting game. 2 players sent off. It was great. And they had Argyle on pre-season, which I was even more impressed that they had Argyle pre-season. So I've checked it out. I've watched a couple of streams on it. So thank you for the recommendation. So that's on Dalot. Not really much more to say on it. His goal is awful. I think Kenny's awful, but you don't see me saying that publicly. So let's move on to Henderson. Nuno has mad bunda. Nice to know that you've been looking. So this has come from a Daily Star. So make of this what you will. I won't give my opinion on if I believe it. We'll just talk about the story, shall we? It's easier than trying to dissect if we believe the Daily Star. You know, judging by my laugh, I wouldn't recommend it. Probably, I don't know how they are in tiering, but probably a tier 5 or tier 6. Arsenal, this one's quite a funny one. Arsenal have emerged favourites to sign John Henderson should stalled contract talks with Liverpool end in him leaving the club as early as this summer, as going to a Daily Star. Now, I do believe that if these contracts isn't done by the end of the summer, they will look to move him on. I have various reasons for this. Reason number one, he's going to be more valuable right now than he is in a year's time, because believe it or not, that's why United are picking up Varane very cheaply. That's why I look at Pogba might be leaving for cheap. Because, believe it or not, when they get to their last year, they become really, really fucking cheap. So, let's think about this logically. It all depends on what Henderson sees himself doing. Now, does Henderson just refuse and run his contract down until the age he's 32? By that time, may not get the big contracts for whatever reason, may not end up at these big clubs. Maybe he sees himself doing that, or does he see himself saying, look, you know what, if you want to disrespect me and not pay me what I'm worth, I believe he's actually earning less than Navigator. So, you know, captain of Liverpool should probably be making much more than someone who has spent more time in a hospital bed than on the football pitch. So, you know, I would probably agree with Henderson there. But the real things are, does he want to stay in England? So I think people are all too quick to say, oh, no, he'll never join. Well, how do you know that? Let's look at this logically. Does he get into a City team? Probably not. Does he go to United? Absolutely not. He probably gets in, maybe as DM, but I don't think he would go there. Chelsea? No. Who else is big? Leicester? No. Tottenham? No. Well, I could see him going to Tottenham, but it'd be one heck of a downgrade. At least Arsenal, you've got the history. So if he wants to stay in England, Arsenal are probably the only club that can afford him, that will give him, you know, a bit of a bumper payday. But then you've got the other options of PSG, Atletico Madrid. I believe Juventus are also interested or monitoring the situation, as we say. He may want to go abroad. He may want to go to PSG. They'll give him one heck of a bumper pay, and he gets Champions League football with PSG. That's the advantages of PSG. Probably guaranteed to win Ligue 1, especially the business they've done. So PSG looking really strong. Henderson only improves them even more. Atletico Madrid, very different style, very defensive, very disciplined in La Liga. But again, something that I could see Hendo adapting very well. I could see Henderson going to Atletico Madrid and doing a very good job. And then obviously Juventus, well, what do you get with Juventus? You've got a bit of an aging team, challenge for Serie A, you get Champions League football. So there's a lot of different options for Jordan Henderson, or of course, he signs a new deal at Liverpool. Really all depends. It's a very difficult situation to digest, and it's also very difficult to work out what's going to happen. All we do know is that currently Henderson has got 2 years left on his deal, and FSG are acting like wankers. So that could see Henderson leaving Liverpool. Some comments here. I think it's more than Keita, but not much. Well, you know, let's not get into semantics. John Henderson isn't leaving Liverpool, in my opinion, so I'm not worried. I mean, I would be worried. It's FSG. Of course I'd be worried. If my club was run by FSG, right now I'm currently shitting kittens. I'm very nervous. I'm very worried because I know that FSG are pinching money. They like to pinch the last little bit of money, whether that be in a player contract, hence why we saw Gini Wijnaldum leave for free. And I don't think FSG ever want to see that happen again. They will not be happy about that. They'll certainly not be happy about John Henderson leaving for free. They certainly wouldn't have been happy at Gini Wijnaldum. They certainly won't want to repeat that with John Henderson. So I could see FSG going, well, look, if you're not going to sign your contract, you must leave. Leave now. So I would be worried, not because Hendo's a snake. He's absolutely not. It's because your club is run by absolute moronic idiots. I mean, they're stupid. They are a different level of stupid. So, yeah. Henderson surely has brain not to become a freak. I don't think he would. Chris, agree with you. Henderson isn't that good, says Mustafa. Henderson doesn't want to be associated with a freak fan base and a freak club. I mean, unless you've spoken to John Henderson, you simply don't know. Oi, you on screen, look at my Angel Marie on my Profile pic, ain't she beautiful? Yes, my name is Niall, but yeah, I can respond to oi, you on screen as well. Normally in this country, we say hello. It's normally the polite way to start a conversation. Arsenal are freaks of nature, it's common knowledge, says Chris. Hendo is a key player, very much missed. If not playing, if Bruno is not there, see you you soon notice. Well, the prime example is look at how happened to United when Maguire wasn't there. They fell apart massively fell apart. So I do think that Henderson is a very key part to Liverpool. Very, very key. Do you have any Chelsea news? I do. I do towards the end. Crikey, I got so many fucking. I hate the summer, and that one is that's gonna meet the book of death. I have a lovely hardback book. Wait till it's on a wall, and then I'll squash it to death. So I'm gonna have some fun later on tonight. That one has got a suicide watch. If you want Hendo Arsenal, sell your club to us. Anyone who interacts with my sister, I will kill you. Well, I didn't intend to, but banter. Henderson wouldn't start for PSG. I mean, there's definitely. That's subject to well, yeah, it's very subject. It's very subjective. Some will say he will, some will say he won't. I think he probably would. Bowen ain't gonna downgrade, says Lanzi. Not even the best Henderson in the league. Is there any Ndidi news? Yes, Ndidi will still cost you an arm and a leg, and Leicester will absolutely pull your pants down live in public yet again if you try going for Ndidi. So, probably best to stay away from Leicester players. You don't seem to have a very good track record when dealing with Leicester. Now, can I get a week off so I can visit Angel Marie? I mean, sure. I mean, I'm not your boss, but I mean, yeah, sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Yeah. Yep, there you are, Mustafa. Indeed, he wouldn't downgrade. Big up now, quality, the way you handled that person in the comments. Was Maguire from Leicester? Yes, Maguire was from Leicester. United did get their shorts pulled down for quite a lot of money. 85 million to be precise. Or was it 80? It was 80 because Van Dijk was 75. I subscribe, so I should get a week off. I mean, thank you for the subscribing. Absolutely. If you do wish to take a week off, take a week off. Why not? It's not like your boss can find me. Find me Mustafa says, well, which one? So let's move on. So we've done Arsenal, we've done Bowen. No, we've done Dalot and Henderson. Moving on to Bowen. So, Jarrod Bowen. There's quite a bit on this. This is from the Athletic, so you can fairly believe it. Chris says, go fight with your cushion as always, Mustafa. Jarrod Bowen is on Liverpool shortlist for potential attacking targets. Jurgen Klopp is a big fan. Yeah, I'm sure he is. He's also probably a huge fan of Mbappe, but Liverpool just don't do that. Lanzi says 50 million or fuck off. See, Lanzi, you really would work really well as a negotiator for like a Dortmund. Genuinely, if Dortmund haven't, like, let's say Dortmund lose someone, they definitely should hire you because that stands exactly what Dortmund look for. They definitely look for the 50 million, give us the money or fuck off. They're also getting that treatment given to them by PSV for Milan. So, what comes around goes around. Now on a real one, what you see Liverpool doing next season, that really depends on what is left of your squad, B, if you bring in anyone. Mind you, you also lose Salah and Mane in January for the African Cup of Nations, to which you do miss out, I believe, on Leicester, but you have to play Brentford and I want to say Crystal Palace. For some reason, I've got them in my head. So you look at them. Yeah, so you lose them for them. Really depends on sort of what you see doing. Would I sign Burn? No, I wouldn't. We can do better. But if I was him or Elliott as backup to Salah, then Burn all day long. Big up to Ed Woodward. Surely you should be sorting out Rafael Varane, Neves, Trippier. Or maybe you want some ideas on what you should do. Firstly, put the right back on side burner, tell Ollie to stop being a twat, and go get yourself a DM. Just a thought from someone who knows a bit more about football than yourself. Dortmund won 150 million. I'm tired of waiting. Get Marina to make the bid. There has been progression according to some reports. We'll get into that, don't worry. Don't worry, Lanzi will offer 20 million plus tickets and wanted poster. Lovely, Velvish one. Absolutely lovely. You're a very kind guy. Now, back to now, how do you see Patrick doing as manager at Palace? I see him doing fairly well, you know. I do see him doing fairly well, but he has to be backed. And I think getting Mark Gehi, I actually think really is a good signing. I think Crystal Palace are about to evolve, aren't they? They went from this Roy Hodgson type football with experienced players to getting some less experienced players per se and really driving it forward. So really interesting season for Crystal Palace and for Patrick Vieira. But Vieira will, of course, like any new manager, make mistakes. He needs to be given that backing and all of this. So really important that he does well, gets off to a good start. That will calm the nerves down. It's going to be a very nervous season for Crystal Palace fans because you are getting younger players. It is going to be a change of style. But I think getting a few good results on the first few weeks of the season really helps calm down nerves. So I do back Patrick Vieira to do well, but we'll really have to see. Not all former players go on to do great jobs as managers, but I do back Vieira to do a good job. Manzi says, actually, Liverpool can Yarmolenko. Left foot, right winger, left foot, right winger. Basically the same player. Or a Salah. Big up to Manrick Flora. Just sub, mate. Love the content. Thank you, Manrick. Mustafa answer me or I'll fight you. Everyone loves a good fight, apparently. But as we say, back to a report from The Athletic. Whether they reinforce the squad in that area in this window depends largely on whether Origi and Shaqiri move on. So Origi and Shaqiri are both really pivotal parts to this. One of them has to leave, if not both. So basically, whether Liverpool reinforce their squad in that area in the current window depends on the large extent of whether Divock Origi and Xherdan Shaqiri leave Anfield. The club are open to offers for both players, with Shaqiri attracting interest from Lazio. The issue with this is how much are Liverpool wanting for these players? Because don't forget, Liverpool always want high dollar for their players. It's why it's very difficult to sell players for Liverpool. And yes, back in the past, Ryan Brewster was a very stupid signing from Chris Wilder, considering he does not play the type of football that is needed. But no, it is very strange. But I do think Liverpool, they haven't sold many players. They do need to try and get some off the books. Now, Phillips is definitely one that will attract interest. He'll never be hotter than he is right now. Obviously, with him getting the amount of game time he did last season, so selling him is an absolute must. Getting someone to sign Origi is going to be very difficult right now. Not impossible, but very, very difficult. Bowen fits the profile for Liverpool in terms of age, playing style, and versatility. He's viewed as someone with massive potential who could initially provide high caliber backup and increase competition for places. Absolutely as needed. Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp rates him highly, and the club will continue to monitor his development even if they don't ultimately pursue a deal this summer. Which suggests to me, if we sell Origi or Shaqiri, we'll go try and get him. A really stupid move, because just get rid of Origi and Shaqiri. You might as well just get rid of them. Origi did crossbar challenge against Burnley, right? You do not want a player doing crossbar challenge against Burnley at Liverpool. And Shaqiri, yeah, he's good, but he doesn't really play, and he's a fair bit injury prone as well. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see what Jarrod Bowen does and see if he does end up at Liverpool. It will be a very interesting one. I do recommend we pay a fair bit of attention to this or you know, keep our eyes on it. Now, can Brentford stay up? Absolutely. I think we saw with Leeds last season, if you're playing good football, to which Brentford do, and you do it the right way, you can absolutely stay up. West Brom went down because they're not a good enough team and did this whole weird thing with Sam Allardyce. Fulham went down because they simply just weren't good enough. They showed promise, elements of promise. They simply weren't good enough. Probably didn't back Parker enough. Parker's obviously moved from Fulham and moved to Bournemouth now. So there's obviously a lot of changes. We all know why Sheffield United went down. It's very risky, massive gamble appointment for Palace, just like De Boer was. They've gone away from an established Premier League manager. He has to start well. Absolutely. And this thing of, I understand why they're doing it, because the people like Roy Hodgson, their game is slowly becoming very, well, it's dinosaur-like, really. It's very old school. It's make sure you're a force at the back, don't concede many goals, hit teams on the counter, don't really play pretty football, and we'll just survive. We'll just survive. And I think a lot of teams, especially like Palaces, they don't want to simply just survive anymore. I think they want to give it a good go. I think teams like Palace have looked at West Ham and Leicester of recent years and gone, we want to do that. Well, how do you do that? Well, you do need to get a good manager. What do both West Ham and Leicester have? Both have very good managers. But Vieira could absolutely prove to be a very good manager and could prove to do really good things with Crystal Palace. We'll have to just wait and see. Also, big up to Phantom, still listening, but obviously can't comment whilst driving. Just Origi has become Dickinson's real deal. I do agree. Now, do you see Ben Davies playing games at Liverpool? No, I don't. Just simply, no. It was a panic buy. Yeah, sold him as well. Klopp can rate him all he wants. It's 50 million. Landsy, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I'm in talks to become the next CEO for Chelsea. I'm sure they're delighted. I'm a Man U fan. Hope we sign a CDM. Well, I've just went on about a 10-minute rant on why you should be signing a CDM over a right back. But, you know, I'm not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm sure many people wish I was. Well, not directly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, maybe managing United, because clearly the issues at the club that I can see he cannot. Now, how many kicky-uppies do you reckon you can do? Not many. I was really shit at that. I'm sort of a no-nonsense footballer. I'll pass the ball. If you're lucky, I'll score you a goal, and I will 2-foot someone. Those tricks, they were never for me. I do hope Vieira does well. I want him to. So do I. Palace average squad of 30, now gone down to 20s, which is probably another problem for them last season. Absolutely. Yeah, and Mark Gahey had a great season in the Championship. Now, how far do you see Liverpool getting in the UCLs? Again, it really depends on your season. Injuries, of course, are a big issue. How I see it doing, I would assume quarter semis is probably the ambition for Liverpool. You should get out the group. You would hope you get past the round of 16, providing you've probably topped your group. So I do think probably quarters, probably maybe semi-finals if you're lucky. I don't see Liverpool winning it, but it definitely could be up there in the Champions League. My personal record is 2. Classic American, love it. I hope Vieira does bad and Palace get relegated so I can laugh at them. Love it. Now, Ban, he is beating me in a battle. No. Depends on Liverpool's group. Yeah, well, of course it depends on Liverpool's group. Just like if I was to make a bet about United, it really depends on who you get. Let's hope you don't get Leipzig. So, we've done Bowen. Let's talk Ruben Neves. Obviously, Portugal to Portugal. 27 at max for Bowen. That's a fair price, says Chris. So this is from Dean Jones Soccer. Now, as I say, I'm simply not gonna, completely chuck it out of the ballpark because he's put soccer in his name. But it does ring alarm bells. That's not me being. It's a bit like if Fabrizio Romano called himself Fabrizio Romano Soccer. It would give you a little bit of a. You'd be thinking in the back of your head like, is this guy really, really knowing what he's talking about? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, look, this is where it's come from. Obviously, Dean Jones and a bit of TalkSport. So, for me, not really the greatest, but it is out there. So we'll of course talk about it. Manchester United's pursuit of Ruben Neves is genuine. Whilst Arsenal are the most active for Neves and trying to get over the line, United are still in conversation with Bruno. In conversation, full stop. Not in conversation with Bruno Fernandes. Hi, Bruno. Who should we sign this summer? Excellent. No, it's not like that. Bruno Fernandes is particularly keen for Neves to join United. Obviously, if I was manager, my player could want as many players as he wants. I'll sign who I want. However, speaking to Jim White, so a different one, that was from Dean Jones Soccer on tweet. So there is something from TalkSport. However, speaking to Jim White on TalkSport, Alex Crook believes Manchester United are now showing genuine interest, which puts them in pole position. Of course it would. They're in Champions League. Arsenal are not. Of course, that puts them in pole position, obviously. Neves is another player Mikel Arteta has been monitoring very closely, but the trail seems to have gone cold there over a move to Arsenal. Obviously, we've seen Lokonga come in, Ben White has come in, Nuno Tavares have come in. So, Arsenal's now slowly starting to bring in these players. But it does look like Ruben Neves is probably might not happen for Arsenal. Wolves have put a price tag, 35 million, and they're willing to do business to try and generate some funds for their new manager, Bruno Lage. Liverpool were mentioned to me, but there's definite interest from Manchester United. Ruben Neves is a Portugal teammate of Bruno, and he is actively trying to push for Neves towards Old Trafford. They do want another midfielder, regardless of Pogba's future at the club. Now, the interesting thing with Ruben Neves is, of course, he's not your traditional DM. He's not that DM that's going to sit there. He's not technically a DM, right? So we can squash that before anyone says he's not a DM. I'm aware of that. But you do not have to be a DM to do the DM. Now, before you shout at me, Michael Carrick was not a DM. He was always more box to box, maybe a deep line playmaker, right? That was Michael Carrick's role. He was never a DM. Towards the end of his career at United, and more importantly, when he played with Scholesy, sort of towards the end, especially Fergie's era, he was more of a DM. He was more, they sort of done that double pivot. Now, if United are serious about doing this 4-3-3, well, you have to have a sort of person sat in that hole, whether they're a DM or not. If you haven't got a DM, you need to plug that hole with something, of course. Can't just have Bruno in it or Pogba in it. It would be an absolute catastrophe. Just like you can have Fred in it on his own. Jesus, are you asking for trouble? It would have to be McTominay. Now, whilst Fred obviously has more of the attributes that you'd want from the DM, he simply does not have that he simply just doesn't have that discipline. So I do see that as one of the things. I do see Ruben Neves to United as a really good signing for United if they can do it. 35 million as well. Very good price. I think it is a good price for Ruben Neves. He reads the game very well. A lot of people compared him with Michael Carrick, and I can sort of see it. Now, he may not, as I say, be that traditional DM. He's certainly better than Fred and McTominay. He could do that well. Now, is that enough to take United to title challenges? You would hope so. So, in terms of if they get they get Sancho, they've got get Varane, they get Neves. If you get Trippier, that's just like a side part. That's like what Trippier is like. So you've made your cake. You've put the icing on top of the cake, right? Trippier is like the cherry. So this summer, like Sancho is the cake. Varane is like the flavor of the cake. So like whatever flavor cake you made, let's say chocolate. So let's say we're making a chocolate cake. So Sancho is like the base. He's like the bare bulk of the cake. Then Varane is like the cocoa powder. So you've put the cocoa powder in to make that chocolate, that plain vanilla base into a chocolate vanilla base, right? So you've done that. Then you've put it in the oven, you've cooked it, blah, blah, blah. Now, Ruben Neves is like that icing that you put on top. So let's say we're making a chocolate cake, so you want chocolate icing on top. So Ruben Neves is like that chocolate icing on the top. Really want it, you need it to really make that cake taste nice. Now, Trippier is like that cherry. So Trippier is like the cherry on top of the cake. Congratulations, you have put the cherry on top of the cake. Now, you can have that cake without that cherry, right? Easily. You could easily have that cake without that cherry. That cherry is not necessary, right? You can't have that cake without the base or the icing or the cocoa powder. So you need all of that. You don't need the cherry. So Trippier is literally the cherry on top of your cake. Every other element you need in that cake, you need. That cherry, you can fuck the cherry. So that is how I see it. Really, how we got talking about chocolate cake. Maybe it's because I like cake. As you can see, getting this figure liking cake, fairly natural. Some comments here. Now, can I kill Man U because they are useless? No. You cannot kill an entire club. Their owners tried doing that with the Super League. That's what he's worth, Lanzi. He's not, but okay. Now, what's the video floating around on YouTube of Arsenal new player Tavares deeply kissing his dog's mad video? I've not seen that. And if I haven't seen it, I'm not going to comment on it. Null, is it true you make a roast every Sunday? If so, that's probably your greatest personal attribute. I do, but I wouldn't say it's my greatest personal attribute. I'd say my greatest personal attribute is being able to talk a lot. I can talk for hours. Hence why I have a YouTube channel. But no, I do cook a roast every Sunday. When you live in Britain, it's sort of a tradition. This channel and show this decent, still always get straight to the point, no messing about. Absolutely, we always will. 53 appearances, 9 goals, 10 assists. You think he's worth 50 mil? Is Neves a lone DM? No, but neither was Michael Carrick. He reads the game very well. You could mould him into a DM, I suppose. Brilliant analogy for now. Yeah, so basically what I've done is I've put Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane, Ruben Neves, and Kieran Trippier into a cake. That's all I'm saying. He's our player. We don't want to lose him. Charge what we want. That is actually true nowadays. Jota got 7 goals, 1 assist, and you spunked 40 million on him. That's again true. If I kill the owner, save the useless club, then I'll become a hero, and we will love our big brother even more. Nosebleed. No. I wouldn't do that. Don't want Neves. Kenny, you're not in charge of Manchester United. Mustafa, we've been over this 100 million. Now is a G, so underrated in my opinion. Thank you, much appreciated. How much is Rice worth? 80 million. 80 million maximum. Anything more, you're being ripped off. Dylan M17, sorry, Lord Mustafa, my sincere apologies. Love to see it. Would rather Rice or Camavinga. Yes, I also would like to go on a date with David Beckham and have lots of money. Unfortunately, in life, you don't always get what you want. You should know that. You wanted Fabinho. Liverpool got Fabinho. You did get Alexis Sanchez, but that did not turn out too well. In fact, you didn't want Alexis Sanchez. You didn't want anyone. City wanted Alexis Sanchez, so you went and got him, spunked a load of money on him, spent a lot of wages, and yeah, how did that work out for you? Not very well. Not very well at all. Now on a real one, will Haaland come to the Prem or end up at Real Madrid? I think neither. I think he stays at Dortmund this season, off to Munich next. 65 for Rice. I'd say 80 at a push. You could do 80 because, you know, in terms of future, he's got plenty of life left in him. He's very young, and of course, will have sell-on value when he's a bit older as well. He'll have sell-on value anyway, but you know, Didi is valued at 60. He would definitely. Where did you see that? Where did you see that? Alex Scott will be a part of FIFA 2022 commentating team, and Lee Dixon has finally gone. Huge win. Love to see it. Hopefully they get Mason Greenwood a face, right? All I want is Mason Greenwood to have a face. Now, as people who watch the channel a lot will know, I haven't actually got I got a PlayStation recently. My other one broke. So I haven't actually got FIFA 21. I'm playing FIFA 20 at the moment. And Mason Greenwood does not have a face in either FIFAs. Very rude. Very, very rude. Apparently, we aren't actually that interested in Neves. Bruno Fernandes is apparently. Chris Gelf transfer market. But West Ham are like Leicester will charge their players over price. PES 22 is free. What? No, the whole game isn't free, is it? No, the E-Series is free. Send me a link to that. I read somewhere that the E-Series is free, or E-Football is free. I don't think the whole game is free. I think E-Football is. But anyway, they don't have like all the stuff that FIFA do. But, don't get me wrong. I think the graphics in PES is brilliant. I think Rashford's face is well realistic. But yeah. Yes, Mason does have a face on FIFA 22. Finally. Have they released it? Have they released what the Mason Greenwood looks in FIFA 22? So if they have, let me know. Niall, do you think a lot of average players are overpriced in this current footy climate? I think everyone's overpriced. I think the minute we saw Neymar go from Barcelona to Real Madrid for that much, madness. So I do think a lot of people are overpriced. Pulisic is a global ambassador for FIFA 22. His rating will be higher for sure. PES no longer exists. It's eFootball. Fuck is eFootball? It will be an E-Series now. Someone explain to me what that means. Null eFootball is PES. The entire game. Right. Someone explain to me what that means. Because I don't get it. Right? I have always played FIFA. So I don't simply know what eFootball is or any of this PES shit. You're going to have to explain it. Dumb it right down. Imagine you're explaining it to Kenny, right? That's what you need to do. PES will never overtake FIFA. Ultimate Team is admired by too many. You can get licensing on PES, can you? I've never tried Football Manager. How have you? Oh, I would definitely recommend Football Manager. Ultimate Team is awful. Career mode, absolutely. I haven't released it, but my sources say he has a face. We love to see it. VAR killed the game. No, it just needs to be implemented correctly. eFootball is new to PES. They've just changed the name and made it free. Basically, now from now on, PES is being changed to one game called eFootball, and will have regular updates instead of new games every year. Nice. Made it free. Yeah. Now get FIFA F1 21 clear off FIFA. I'll be getting both. I'll get both. Ultimate Team. Yeah, too expensive. Yeah, I've never done Ultimate Team. Dylan, you coward. I need F1, but don't have money. Well, wait till you have money, or you with F1. If you're not an avid Formula One fan, so I am an avid Formula One fan, so I will absolutely be going and splashing 52 quid on a new game. If you've only just got into Formula One, just get like Formula One from a couple of years ago. Like get the 2019 version. I think you can get it for like 18 quid. Just do that, and yeah, I think that's fine. That's what I would do if I was in your situation. Ryan Lowe is an absolute legend for what he said. What has Ryan Lowe said? Send it to me. Oh, you haven't. What's Ryan said now? Has he tweeted it? Oh no, what am I looking at? Ryan Lowe. Bloody hell, what's Ryan said now? Nah, I ain't seen anything on his Twitter. Oh, you've sent me a post. Oh yeah. Yeah, so I loved it. So basically, we had fans forum tonight. I've watched it all now. I've watched it all. I forgot. Yeah, with us fans, we know Ryan for what Ryan is. So yeah, I didn't really think of anything as he said it. It did make me chuckle though. But yeah, he said in the fans forum, we have a policy: don't sign knobheads. And I was watching it, and when he said it, I just, just chuckled straight away. I was like, fucking love it. So yeah, Ryan Lowe's policy: we have a policy: don't sign knobheads. It was in reference to there was a question that came up about the racism and how the club feels that are they ready to be able to handle all of this, and sort of it went round and round. Was like, yeah, we've just got a policy: don't sign knobheads. But absolutely brilliant, loved it. Now, do you think Chelsea will win the league in the next 2 years? I mean, they should. They have one of the best managers. They have a very capable team. They don't have a striker yet, but that could be fixed. If they're serious about doing it, they could easily do it. Yep, I agree. Low. But last but not least, let's talk about Chelsea, because I've just realised we've spent 51 minutes me chatting. I very much enjoyed it. I've loved this show so far, and today it's been one of my favourite ones. But I do want to make sure that we do open phone lines even for 5-10 minutes for people. But I have really enjoyed it. So Chelsea are set to make a huge offer for Haaland. Chelsea are mulling over a £135 million offer for Borussia Dortmund striker Erling Haaland, according to reports. This is from 442, by the way. The Norway international has emerged as the club's top transfer target this summer, as Thomas Tuchel seeks to revamp his squad ahead of his first full season at the helm. According to 90 Minutes, the European champions are considering submitting an official offer for the 21-year-old worth £135 million. Winning the title will be next on Tuchel's to-do list, but it will be very difficult unless Chelsea sign a new striker. The competition for Haaland's signature will be fierce next summer, and Tuchel clearly wants to steal a march on rival suitors by agreeing a deal in the coming weeks. Obviously, as I've always said, it is much easier, and it is actually the only chance you can get Haaland. You can only get Haaland this summer. If you leave it to the release clause, I think he goes to Bayern Munich. So I think when you look at all of that, yes, it is worth putting 135 million in. They may accept it. If they don't accept it, it's only an extra 15 million to chuck to the 150. It is a madness. And I must say this. If Chelsea do this, they affect their transfers for the rest of their lives. And in fact, they actually affect a lot of transfers for everyone. It inflates the market. The minute a big amount of money is spent, so yeah, the minute a big amount of money is spent, it always inflates the market. Someone asked earlier, do I think the average players were overpriced? Well, yes, because we inflate the market. Teams like Chelsea, teams like PSG, they inflate the market. Man City have never done that so far. Yeah, if they spend 100 million on Grealish and 100 million on Kane, or however they're going to do it, or what they're going to do, that will inflate the market. So teams like Chelsea, teams like PSG, they inflate the market. So you want to know why your club is having to spend so much money on a player? Go ask Chelsea or PSG. No prime CBG, prime Alonso, prime Mascherano, but you have to drop one. See, for me, prime Stevie and prime Alonso are virtually the same player. So I would probably drop Alonso because I feel like Mascherano, Steven Gerrard in A2 works brilliantly. Got Gerrard going forward, Mascherano going defensively. I think that's solid. Now, can I be up, Kenny? No. What a question, Ravi. Love all of them. I do love the questions. I do enjoy them. They went X 135 mil. I agree. I'm going to put the link briefly into the chat for like 5-10 minutes. So if anyone does want to come on, the link is in the chat for you guys to come on. But I have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed just talking to you lot as well. Sometimes every now and again, one of these happens. I absolutely love it. Kenny is trying to move to my Angel Marie. How old is Kenny? I think he's 17. Don't quote me on that. Haaland will leave next summer, I feel. I mean, I've always thought that is a strong possibility. Have always thought that is a strong possibility. It's also really hot. Is anyone else ridiculously hot today? This is the question. Because it is baking. It's baking in Devon. Absolutely baking. Like, so what did I do today? So I started off day by playing some FIFA, of course. Always start the day off with a bit of FIFA. Obviously, I won Transfer Talk at 3 p.m. because I was on Liam's channel previewing Middlesbrough for Argyle on Friday. So I play a bit of Formula One. My Lord, sitting in this chair does just get you very, very sweaty in this weather. It's absolutely lovely. And so, yeah. And then I've been prepping. In fact, I've also been making these. So I'll give you a little preview. So for the new shows, we've got, so that, you know how we used to have like, say it would say that, it would have that at the top with like the United show. So we're doing it cleaner. So we're going to have the badge of the club. So you got United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool. I'm too good to it. I'm too good. They all remain purple, so it stays with the channel. That bit just matches the team we're talking about. Really clean, though. I really like that. So I spent some time making them as well. So really enjoyed doing that. So yeah, I've been doing a fair bit. So yeah, it is mad. Ravi says, pick up now, decent show now. You're too good at what you do. Thank you. That is much appreciated, bro. It really, really is. I'm ridiculously hot, but not in a temperature way. Yeah, no, you're not kidding. So hot tonight. Mad heat. It is mad. I've been leaving the fan on during the night when can't sleep in this weather. Yeah, so I've taken my duvet off. I mean, I've got a sheet on the bed, but I don't put the sheet on. I don't cover I cannot cover. It is horrifically hot at the moment. So I've not been doing any of that. I don't have the duvet. I have a sheet if I wish to cover. But it's just been too hot. And yeah, I've got a tower fan that is still shit, but it's better than nothing. But yeah, that's just been on like a 1. It's like nice. It's got a nice hum to it, so it helps you sleep. I always have to listen to something when I'm going to sleep as well. So I have like I listen to US politics to put me asleep. Quite funny, to be fair. So yeah, I'll listen to like David Patman or something. Not because he's boring. I just, his clips are like an hour, so it's like perfect just in case I can't. It takes me a while to get to sleep, so. If I don't have to worry about like something else coming on and it jolts me. It's like an hour podcast, so it just keeps me going. And he never shouts. He's always like talking in like, obviously it goes up and down, but it's sort of like one tone, so it's really, really helpful to go to sleep. So I listen to him a lot. But yeah, the fan just a bit of a dull noise. Very nice that. Chris has to be done, man. It's too hot. It is very hot. I would agree with that. Heat wave meant to be coming first week of August. Fucking brilliant. I'll go get myself another fan. Now, what do you think of the top 4 be next season? I think it'll be the same. I think not in any particular order, because I really want to wait till sort of see what clubs are doing, but I think it's really hard to break into the top 4 at the moment. I think it will be City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't see whilst Arsenal's business has been good, I don't think it'll be enough to break into top 4. And yeah, so I would say that. I think it is ridiculously hard. If anyone's going to break into the top 4, let's not be naive. It will absolutely be Leicester. They're a very well-run club. But I just think even for Leicester, it's going to be one step too far. So yeah, it will be very interesting. We'll have to wait and see. Now, can I buy Plymouth Argyle Football Club? You absolutely may not. You may not buy the club. Nothing worse than a podcast shouting when you're trying to fall asleep. Yeah, I'll never watch, and people probably don't want you to be falling asleep watching their content. I for sure hope people don't fall asleep listening to my content and the content on this channel. But I do. I would hate it if I would never watch, like, you know how, like, for the weekly review shows and club shows, it's very much like a panel and a host and all of that. I absolutely would never want that. I would never listen to that when going to sleep, because I just wouldn't be able to go to sleep. Now, can your boys win a trophy next season? I mean, you can rule us out of the FA Cup and the League Cup straight away. So that narrows 2 competitions down to 2, 4 down to 2. I mean, if we take the Papa John's Trophy seriously, maybe we can win the Papa John's Trophy. Winning the league, I think, with the teams in the league at the moment, is going to be ridiculously difficult. I think you look at Ipswich, you look at Rotherham, we're going to be up there, I think, but I absolutely I wouldn't have us as favourites to win the league. So maybe not. I haven't seen Argyle win a trophy since I started watching Argyle. I mean, we had a trophy for getting promotion, but I don't really count that. So I've never really watched us win a trophy. So it is mad. Kenny, or unless obviously playoffs, unless we go through the playoffs and we win the playoffs, of course, then we win a trophy. Kenny is talking in Twitter group chat at the moment, so that's why he isn't here. Love to see it. If Liverpool lose Hendo and Salah, then Leicester. Well, yeah, and that's why, of course, these will be very different to it really depends on what other teams do. If other teams do business and Liverpool don't, then maybe Leicester do jump them. If Liverpool, as you say, lose Hendo, Salah, all of this, then of course Leicester probably are more favourites to get top 4. No. I'm listening as I'm talking in the Twitter group chat. I think Plymouth win playoffs. Okay, Kenny. Has Argyle been in the Championship in your lifetime? They have. They were in fact there for all of my lifetime. Not all of it, but, you know, like the whole time they were in the Championship. All of that, blah, blah, blah. Really good. Really interesting. It was a good time. It was a very good time. Always do predictions one day before Premier League and Championship. Yeah, that's always I do. We're going to be doing our own predictions. First weekly review show, we'll be doing ours. So, of course, make sure you check out that. What I'm going to say is, if you'd like to watch mine and ours for League One predictions, check out the video we did on my channel. May agree, may disagree, but opinions are opinions. Absolutely. Then I will fight with every Argyle player there for my angel's sake. Nice. I'm off to bed. I'm off now. Great stream as always, mate. Well, I think that is the perfect place to end it. I think had a really great show. Really enjoyed that one, actually. I really enjoyed it. Very rarely do I end up talking for 55 odd minutes. And we don't have any callers, so it's just been me, which is, you know, sometimes it is really nice to I had this thing during the tournament in the summer, which was really good. So I did enjoy doing some watch-alongs on my own. Big up to also this channel. We're going to be doing a lot more watch-alongs for, like, Champions Leagues, Europa Leagues, of course, but we're also going to be doing some Premier Leagues. Also, Argyle are playing Pompey live on Sky from Fratton Park. Now, obviously, I'm not going to Pompey, so I'm actually going to be doing an Argyle watch along. So if you want to see me losing my shit live on stream, literally losing my shit with Argyle, then that will be in September. So absolutely brilliant. Now you should put Doncaster 4th on the 24th in the EFL show. Velv is naked on his bed. It's so hot. Nice. My Chris Wood is flopping around like crazy. Flapping around like crazy. Brilliant. And on that note, we are going to wrap it up there. We'll be live back tomorrow, 3 p.m. with Transfer Talk again, and then again at 10 p.m. with another episode, Transfer Talk, blah, 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 all of the same shows. You know what's coming up. Next week, we have got the club shows back, so the United show, Liverpool show, Chelsea show, maybe the Arsenal show, if I find Arsenal fans. So make sure you check us out for that. They'll be back next week. Then the week after, the reintroduction of the weekly review show, which will be the weekly, well, it'll be the weekly review show, but we'll really be previewing the Premier League season to start, which will be really, really good. So yeah, that'll be really good. So make sure you check out them next week. And then obviously after the first round of games, Let's Talk Tactics will be back, hopefully, maybe. And Rescue will be back. That will definitely be back. Hopefully it will be back with Dom. Just need to talk to him about time and day. And of course, as always, we still have the Late Late Show with me and Matt. Not sure what we're doing next week. I'm sure we'll find something. But on that note, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you are new to the channel, hit that, hit all of that. I've just done that. DC has got, Declan Rice in tears. Bit late, very, very late. Bye. Bye DC. F1 watch-alongs too. Absolutely. Got F1 watch-alongs as well with me, Chris and Charles. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out our socials, Twitter, Let's Talk EPL, Instagram, Let's Talk EPL_, and on TikTok, Let's Talk Premier League. If you want to follow me personally, I am at Niall_PAFC, but most importantly, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the amazing comments. Been a real great fun show tonight, but until tomorrow, it's night time. So until next time, peace out, guys.